All right, there we go, y'all. We figured it out. We got a little Jim Rohn for you this morning. Little Jim Rohn. Uh, just reminders. None of this stuff is new. None of this stuff is things you don't know. Question is, are we doing what we know? That's always the question. I keep putting the same messages, similar messages in front of you. Hopefully one day it sinks in, right? This is called programming. The more that you show up to these, the more you get programmed. The world has programmed you. My mom, as a kid, used to always be like, if you knew the Bible verses like you knew those rap songs, right? She used to always say that. Why? Because that was programmed. I was listening to it over and over and over again, always listening to the music. So I remembered the words. Now, whatever that translates to in life, right, might not be the greatest thing. The reason why you got to keep hearing this stuff over and over and over again, especially if you don't listen to it outside of these morning mindset calls, is because you need to be reprogrammed. Because you need to have a tape going off in your mind when things start happening of the right things to do. Whether you are doing them or not, you should always be thinking about the things you know you should be doing or you need to do, what your musts are. You should have that tape playing in your mind. That's why we got to hear these things over and over and over again. That's why. Live intentionally versus running on default. It's what Jim Rohn started with. Are we living intentionally or are we just running on default? Because the theme of this is something I've told you over and over again, which is you got to control your mornings. Your first thoughts of the day. Your first thoughts of the day. You get to control that. And so you have to if you're living intentionally. If you're not just reacting, if you're not just going through the motions, if every day is not just the same day, if you're not just, again, going off of default, the opposite is we have to be intentional, which means we have to control certain parts of our life. Other people don't get to control it. Our environment doesn't get to control it. We control it. So we got to focus on living intentionally versus just running on default. Same old, same old. Call somebody up. Hey, how's things going? Oh, same old, same old. Same old, same. Yep, living on default, right? Just default routine. Jim Rohn gave you 5 things. I hope you wrote them down. I hope you reminded yourself of them. Success leaves clues. So I'm gonna give them to you again, but maybe you should try to put this in your morning affirmations, or maybe you should put this into your morning routine. Stack the habit. When you're brushing your teeth, say these affirmations or say these things to you because you brush your teeth every morning, hopefully, right? So stack the habit. That's in the book Atomic Habits if you haven't read it by James Clear. Number 1, he says, I own this day. What if you said to that to yourself every single day? I own this day. Wednesday, May 13th, I own this day. What does it do? It gives you control. It takes responsibility. It gives you responsibility for your day. He said, hope is passive, right? I hope today goes well. You just literally gave away all of your control over your day. I hope it does. I'm just crossing my fingers. I got no control over this thing, but let's hope that everyone treats me well and my boss is not upset and my kids act right. Let's just hope, hope, hope. Hope is not a strategy. It's not a strategy. Saying I own this day requires its ownership. And he said something in there. Ownership requires honesty and discipline. To own something, it requires you to be honest with yourself and it requires you to be disciplined in your thinking. When we look at 177 mental toughness secrets, one of them, right, talks about living in delusion, right? Middle class delusion, world class, they're honest with themselves. They don't delude themselves. That's what ownership does. When you take full ownership of your life, there's no deluding. You know all of the things that are happening in your life because you've taken ownership of it. So I own this day. Number 2, he said, I embrace the discomfort of growth. I embrace the discomfort of growth. What if you said that to yourself every morning? Every morning, not 5 days a week, not 2 days, not morning mindset calls, every single day for the rest of this year, every single day. I embrace the discomfort of growth. I embrace the discomfort of growth. We don't wish away the problems. We don't wish away the discomfort. We don't want it to be more comfortable. We don't want it to be easier. We embrace the discomfort because we know that's where growth lies. And that's what we have to do to get to the life that we want, right? That's what we got to do to make all the money, to live the life that you want, to be fulfilled, whatever it is that you're going after. You got to be able to say that to yourself. You got to be able to say, hey, I embrace this discomfort because I know it makes me grow. And that's what we're here to do, continue to grow. Third thing he said, I focus on what I can control. This is such a big one. And I know you know this, but are we doing what we know? Do you only focus on what you can control? Or do you focus on other things that are out of your control, like the economy, like other people, like your family, like your friends, like your coworkers, like any of the things that are outside of your control? What are the two things that you can control? I say your actions and your attitude. Your actions and your attitude. Again, Jim Rohn said your mindset, your actions, and your attitude, basically. But that's all you can control. Your actions, what you do, how you respond, what steps you take. That's all you can control. But are you controlling them properly? Are they helping you get to the life that you want? Are your actions actually doing the things that are helping you get there? Because if not, you have no time to focus on other things, other people, you, your actions. That's what you should be focused on because that's what you can control. And then your attitude, how you respond to things, that goes into your mindset. What you allow to frustrate you, what you allow to anger you, what you allow to, worry you. Your attitude, you get to control. You get to take all thoughts into captivity. You get to do that. Do you do that is a different question, but you get to. That's the benefit. That's how we take ownership. That's focusing on what you can control. Fourth thing he said, I deliver value before I expect anything in return. Value creates opportunity. Is that how you wake up every morning? Remember, this is when I tell you take your first 20 minutes of the day for yourself, maybe you should be saying this stuff to yourself because it'll focus your brain on what you need to be focused on that day. So saying things, I deliver value before I expect anything in return. Before I ask, what am I going to get from this? Who's going to help me with? I'm going to give value. It also means you got to, right, be able to fill up your cup or have your cup filled up. It's hard to give from an empty cup. You can't give things you don't have. But world class, I deliver value before I expect anything in return. The fifth thing he said is, I'm grateful for what is while working towards what could be. Man, what a powerful statement. I'm grateful for what is while working towards what could be. First part of that statement, I'm grateful for what is. That's your gratitude journal. Just another person telling you, hey, you should probably start your morning with gratitude if you're not doing it. Just another person out of the hundreds of people that have already said that. Another person just saying, hey, you should probably start your morning thinking grateful thoughts. It's going to help program your mind, right? It's a habit. So I'm grateful for what is while working towards what could be. That's the future. That's the growth. That's the mission. That's the how are we climbing this mountain? What are we doing every single day to help us climb this mountain to get to the life that we don't need to break from? We're grateful for where we are at this level of the mountain. We're grateful for what is. I'm grateful for the things that are around. I'm grateful for the people, the resources, the stuff, and I'm working towards that. I'm working towards that up there. What if you said these five things to yourself every morning, consistently, for the rest of the year? See, consistency has a lot to do with how we get to where we want to go. So all these tips and tools and things that I share with you, they only work if you work. Like if you do them and you do them consistently and you do them for a long time. At the end of that video, Jim Rohn said, right, like this isn't going to change your life overnight. You say these things tomorrow morning. You say these things this morning. You say these things tomorrow morning. Friday is not going to be like, oh man, my life is so much better. No, no, no. But if you did it all the way until 2027, like this was something that you were so committed to say, okay, finally, I get it. The first 20 minutes of my day, the first 30 minutes of my day, I'm going to take ownership of my day. And I know that for the rest of the year, this is going to be what I'm going to do. Not just when I don't feel good, like, or when I feel good, like I'm gonna do it consistently every day for the rest of the year. I promise you your life is gonna look different in January 2027. Why? Because you're gonna have a different focus. You're gonna think different things and you're gonna see different things, which is gonna allow you to take different action. If you told yourself, I embrace the discomfort of growth every day for the next 200 days or whatever we have, by the end of that, you are going to embrace when there's conflict, when there's adversities. You're not even going to trip about it. You're going to be like, ah, I embrace conflict, right? Like you're going to know because you've programmed yourself that way. That's why the stuff is so important, ladies and gentlemen. All this comes down to the chapter I found in 177 Mental Toughness Secrets says champions believe in choice. All of this, to sum all of this up, is you get to choose your life. You get to choose your thoughts. This is what I started the call with. That 22-year-old skier, she said, it's great. I get to choose my thoughts. And then I can choose who I want to become. It's choice. Here's a question. Do you believe that still? Do you still believe that like you can choose the life that you want? Because that's where it starts. We know it starts with belief system. So, do you believe that you can choose the life that you want? You can choose the thoughts. You can choose the people. You can choose all the things. Do you believe that? Well, in the text, it says champions believe in choice. Like we get to choose all these things. It says here, just as amateurs see themselves as victims of circumstance, right? The hope method. Professional performers believe they possess the ultimate human freedom, which is the power of choice or the power to choose. Average people get out of bed in the morning and say, I have to go to work. Champions know they don't have to do anything they choose not to do. This mindset impacts every decision of both amateurs and professionals. Amateurs feel they are at the mercy of the gods. Professionals carefully construct a life based on a series of choices they make. This sense of control increases the professional's ambitious drive. It's also one of the reasons champions appear to be so much happier than average people. They know their choices really control their destiny. One more time, they know their choices really control their destiny. They believe they can be anyone they want to be, do anything they want to do, and have anything they want to have. Their belief in this concept becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, which builds psychological momentum and makes the belief stronger every day. Champions, they believe they can be anyone they want to be, do anything they want to do, and have anything they want to have. Do you believe that? Is that your belief? Really, search your heart, search your mind, take time with yourself. Do you firmly believe you can be anyone you want to be, do anything you want to do, have anything you want to have? If not, you have limiting beliefs. We have some stinking thinking. It's okay if you don't believe that. But I'm telling you, that's what needs to change. The belief that you can create the life you want. A 22-year-old knows that. I don't know what age and stage you are, but there's a 22-year-old that knows it. We just saw her talk about it. You can become anyone you want. You get to choose. You get to choose what you do with your 24 hours in the day, right? It says here, like that sentence that says people that wake up say, I have to go to work. Sure, you might need to make income to pay your bills. You don't have to be at the job you're at if you don't like it. You don't have to be. Sure, there's pros and cons to everything. There's negative impacts, there's right consequences. All those things are true. It's not like, oh, I get to choose and then life just is better. No, no, no. That's the choice, right? We can make good choices, we can make poor choices. There will be good outcomes, there will be consequences. But at the end of the day, you get to choose. At the end of the day, you get to choose. I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. A lot of times, right, the fear of the unknown is why we're not choosing. I know I don't like this thing, but I don't know where else to go or what else to do or how else to go. So I'm just going to not do anything. I'm not going to choose anything. Well, that can't be us. That can't be you if you want to get to your ideal life. That can't be you if you want to get to the life you don't need a break from. You got to know that you control your life. You have ownership over your decisions, over your actions, over your attitudes, over the choices that you make every single day. The action step for today says make a list of the things you feel you have no choice about doing and revisit each one. Do you really have to do them or are you choosing to do them? Could some of the less desirable things be omitted simply by making a choice? Delusion says you must do these things. Objective reality says you always have a choice because you're always in control. I hope you know that. And I hope you believe that because that's how we change our thinking so we can change our life. The belief that I'm in control. If I don't want to do this, I don't have to. Will it maybe come with consequences? It may. But guess what? You get to choose inside of those consequences too what to do. Life is just about your choices and your decisions. Let's plan on starting our mornings better. Let's take these 20, 30 minutes to say those 5 things to yourself, to be intentional about your day every single day, consistently, and watch how your life changes. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. No one tells you, I'll always tell you because you need to hear it. You need to get reprogrammed. You need to get rid of the limited beliefs, the stinking thinking. You got to get rid of it. So we got to hear it over and over again. But now, like I always tell you, you got to go do the work. You got to go do the work. I can't lift the weights for you. You got to go lift the weights, y'all. But go out and do something that scares you today. It's Wednesday. Do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do something that your future self is going to thank you for. I'll see you guys back here on Friday. Take care.